Hola everyone, I am Jen Canodal, founder of Latinos for America, and for the second time, I am so lucky to have my friend Iris Rodriguez online. Welcome, Iris.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Jen.
Thank you so much for being here. I so thoroughly enjoyed our conversation last week. I mean, just opened my eyes so much, and I am honored that that was one of your first interviews. I mean, you've been doing this incredible thing, and you've really kind of been waiting in the background, and I'm really just blown away. And so today I wanted to talk about your digital resistance course that you have online that I'm totally signing up for because I want to get all the information that you've learned over all this time and you've just compiled it for us. So tell us about the program.
Digital Resistance 101 is a course that I developed out of my book, Rasquacha Tech. And it synthesizes 13 years of my journey as a digital warrior, managing and constructing the digital warfront of social justice movements that are happening in my community or in communities in Texas, Mexican American communities, barrios across the United States. So it's a compilation of the best tips and techniques that I can offer that I put together because of just, with a lot of the hate and the bigotry that's going on in social media and online and corporate media. I just didn't feel right about being one of the few people that knows how to fight, online, and to do it in a communal fashion. So I wanted to share that and to share it specifically with communities of color who are going, we're facing the same ills. We're dealing with a lot of the same issues systemically. And so that's what Digital Resistance 101 is. It's a 5-day online course that you can take that'll deconstruct the movement and allow you to understand it from a digital perspective so that you can build something for yourself and for your community that works with your resources, but that also leverages a lot of power.
I just think that's incredible. We were just talking a moment ago about how, I believe it was Pew Research that was saying Hispanics, they were calling it Hispanics, Latinos, Chicanos, we got so many names, are the most prolific, meaning they're consuming the most social media and yet putting out the least amount of social media and putting out the least amount of our stories, and so your digital resistance packet really course really empowers the community to take their story, yes, and learn. I mean, I love that you said digital warrior. That's kind of a new thing that gave some imagery to me. Talk more about that.
Sure. It's not enough to sign a petition online if something's going on in your community. I mean, it helps. It does help, and those petitions do make a difference. But when I talk about being a digital warrior, I'm talking about taking a active approach in your community and using the technological skills that you've been blessed with to have in your generation and in your time, and using those skills to address a social justice issue in your community. And so that becomes different than signing a petition, because now you're having to dive into either your community history, your people's history, so you get an understanding of whatever the problem is, and you're also filtering through a lot of pain because people are wanting to share their stories if they're going through something massive or if they're being hurt somehow. They want to share their stories, and yes, you're there, and maybe you have the camera, you have the website, or you're writing the article, but you're taking in all this pain, and you have to filter that and then turn around and then package it for the internet where people can consume it and hopefully take action on the issue. But that person who plays that role is an important person, and for me, it comes with a series of considerations and things that one should have in order to fulfill that role in such a way that doesn't deplete you.
Right. Yes.
Because it's very hard when you're fighting for your life, when you're fighting for your health, when your community's under attack, when your family's under attack. I mean, that's exhausting. And the last thing that you need is to spread that exhaustion, So being a digital warrior is different than being on the ground, but it is also as intense. It can be also as intense, especially if you are personally affected by the issue you're trying to take online. And so some of those considerations I also outline in the book, because, you know, I know folks that are ready and willing to do something online. Maybe they have their issue already ready. They know what they want to do, but they start jumping into it and they're like, oh my God, my spirit is so, like, I feel so low, or, you know, I feel powerless against this big system. And there's things that we can do to overcome that. And that's part of what I've outlined in this book.
Yeah, you and I talked about that earlier, that as I've been walking through this Latinos for America path, I'm overwhelmed. I can't believe how much I don't know. And you're right, a lot of it is sad. And there is an issue of like, this is like drinking from a fire hydrant, and I got to figure out a way to, like, you know, put some sort of nozzle on it and redirect it. So it's not just, so it's coming up with solutions and problem solving, and not just, yelling that there is a problem. I mean, obviously there is a problem, but yes, how do you direct that? And I think it's so powerful, because not only are you an amazing role model of what is possible, you're now empowering other people to take their same skills. I mean, maybe even some of the youth of today doesn't realize that their ability, I mean, they've always had the internet, so they're totally taking for granted that they can tell their story. And I'm just absolutely so grateful that you've developed this to encourage others, to show them the path. I mean, it's your ancestors would be proud.
Thanks. I was thinking of community and social justice when I did it, because that's my base. But the more that, you know, in talking to you and in talking to other folks, I'm starting to think that I need to do like Rasquacha Tech for passion-based business. Because a lot of the things that we're doing to defend ourselves online as community, like some of those lessons can also be applied to defend ourselves and assert ourselves as artists or as entrepreneurs, you know, within those systems and within, like, you know, the business framework. So yeah, now you got my head spinning.
No, we're going back and forth. We are going to make so many videos. It's going to be bananas. And you guys, Idas is just incredible. You got to go check out her website, Xica Media. Her website's with an S. I mean, she's all over it. And I would really encourage you to check out this Digital Resistance Pack program. And I mean, pull away from the television and learn something. I mean, you know, learn about how you can better your world and your community, especially if you're young. You know, you've got the energy, you've got the whole world in front of you. And I think sometimes we don't even know that. You know, it takes someone like Idas to kind of kick that up in us. So is there anything else that you want to say about this before?
Just a reminder that we are part of a generation with unprecedented power, unprecedented. And at no point in history have any community that's been under attack or any community been able to just push a couple buttons and spread their story immediately across the world. That hasn't happened. I think the history of our continent would have gone down a little bit differently if we would have had that.
It's true.
But we're here now,
right,
and we have this power now. And I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's interesting that we're not, I feel like as a big conglomerate, you know, Latino body, we're not really sure what to do with that yet.
Right.
I think so many of us are asking questions and starting to like really break away from that mold and the things that we've been taught to understand, that we have so much power. We have so much power. So that's the last thing I would say is, like, we have an unprecedented amount of power. Do not forget it.
Yeah.
Sending an email is a thing that our ancestors could not comprehend. And so every little thing that we know about the technological world is a very important tool and can make a huge difference either in a person's life or in the well-being of your community.
I love it. You are just so inspiring. I am just so blessed. Actually, I'm thinking of the friend that we have in common, Laura Perez. Hey, Laura. And one of the things when I first interviewed her, before she turned me on to you, she actually said something that you said earlier. She was like, I'm so glad that you're doing this because I've been doing it for 14 years and I'm tired.
Yeah.
You know, she's still fighting the good fight, but I hadn't thought that. I thought I don't know enough. I'm not Latino enough. All these excuses, but I mean, we need to all do it together because then that makes it so much less burden. Share the yoke, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, so they can find your digital resistance course on Xica Media.
They can go to digitalresistance101.com.
Okay.
You can also go to chicamedia.com. And also on any other of my websites, I have links back to that course.
I am so excited for you. Please go check it out. Support Latinos. You don't even have to be Latinos. And I know Idas is Chicano.
Chicana, yeah.
Yes. So you know, we're all in the same group, I think. So please check that out and follow her. Let us know if you have any questions. Let us know if you have any ideas. Let us know what you're thinking, and just let's keep the conversation going. So thanks again, Idas. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too, Jen. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.